সুধী দর্শক, এনআরবি টেলিভিশনের পক্ষে আমি সুব্রত কুমার দাস আপনাদের সকলকে স্বাগত জানাই। আপনারা জানেন, টরন্টোর নন্দিত প্রকৌশলী এবং লেখক ননীগোপাল দেবনাথ গত 1 নভেম্বর প্রয়াত হয়েছেন। তার এই আকস্মিক প্রয়াণে আমরা এনআরবি পরিবার ভীষণভাবে মর্মাহত, শোকাহত। আজ 8 নভেম্বর টরন্টোতে তার শেষকৃত্য অনুষ্ঠান হচ্ছে। আমরা সেই শেষকৃত্য অনুষ্ঠানের কিছু অংশ আমাদের দর্শকদের দেখাবো এবং কয়েকজন গুণী মানুষের ভাবনা শুনব লেখক ননীগোপাল দেবনাথ সম্পর্কে। ননীগোপাল দেবনাথ 1948 সালে বাংলাদেশে জন্মগ্রহণ করেন। তিনি 1970 সালে বাংলাদেশের বুয়েট থেকে গ্র্যাজুয়েশন ডিগ্রি লাভ করেন এবং লেখক ননীগোপাল দেবনাথের সাথে আমাদের এনআরবির সংযোগ লেখক হিসাবে তার আত্মপ্রকাশের পর। আমার ব্যক্তিগত সংযোগের কথা যদি বলি, তাহলে বলবো যে তিনি যে 78 বছরের অথবা আমরা বলতে পারি 77 বছরের জীবন এই পৃথিবীতে নির্বাহ করেছেন, তার মাত্র 10 বছর আমার জানা। তিনি অবসর গ্রহণের পর লেখালেখির প্রতি আগ্রহী হন এবং তার সেই আগ্রহকে আরও বেশি উদ্দীপিত করার জন্য তিনি আমার শরণাপন্ন হন। সেটি আমার জন্য ছিল অনেক আনন্দকর একটি অভিজ্ঞতা। 2022 সালে তার স্ত্রীর প্রয়াণের পর আমার এবং বাংলা মেলের পক্ষ থেকে তার প্রতি আমরা আরও বেশি দায়িত্ববান হয়ে উঠি। একজন একাকী মানুষ, একজন অবসরপ্রাপ্ত মানুষ এবং তার আগ্রহ লেখালেখিতে। সেজন্য আমরা তাকে উৎসাহিত করতে থাকি বেশি বেশি করে লেখার, এবং তার সেই লেখা বাংলা মেলে সপ্তাহের পর সপ্তাহ, মাসের পর মাস আমরা প্রকাশ করেছি, যার পরিণতিতে 2023 সালে ননীগোপাল দেবনাথের প্রথম গ্রন্থ বৈচিত্র্যময় ক্যানাডা প্রকাশিত হয়। এবং সবশেষে আপনাদের অনেকের জানা আছে যে তিনি দ্বিতীয় একটি গ্রন্থ প্রকাশ করেছেন, ধর্মের 4টি মুখ্য প্রতীক শিরোনামে। সেই ননীগোপাল দেবনাথ গত 1 নভেম্বর অকস্মাৎ বিকালবেলায় বিশ্রাম গ্রহণকালে এই দেহ ত্যাগ করে চলে যান। আমি আবারও বলি, আমরা এনআরবি পরিবার, বাংলা মেল পরিবার ভীষণভাবে শোকাহত।
coming. This means a lot that the room is already full. Our hearts are full, and I'm very blessed. I feel very blessed that you're all here today. We'll get started with some words to remember my Baba. We'll have some chants later on, and we have Panditji, who was actually he was here for my mom's service as well, so we're very grateful that he was able to come for my Baba as well. Right now, I'd like to ask my youngest brother, Ariji, to come up and say a few words.
Hello, everybody. This feels very surreal being here. Thank you all for coming. It's hard to believe. বিশ্বাস করতে পারছি না আমরা এখানে আছি. Can't believe we're here. I just spoke to him 3 p.m. on Saturday last weekend, and yeah, and like my brother was saying, it feels just like yesterday we were celebrating my mom's life 3 years ago. That was a very tough time for all of us, but what helped me accept her leaving was that my Baba was there, and I was convinced that he was going to be around for a long time. And even though he was in the later stage of his life, he took such good care of himself that it seemed like he was just going to be eternal, like father figures are. I wake up every morning thinking that he's still there for a split second, but then I realize all over again that he's not with us. I'm shocked, as a lot of you are. He took very good care of himself. He set himself a very high standard for how to live. He lived a very rich, full life, and he wanted to cherish the gifts that were available to us in this life. He was a writer, he was a poet, a caretaker, a gardener, and he approached his life the same way as he did his vegetable garden. He planted seeds of curiosity, and he grew his plants and watered them, and until they flowered into a poem, a book, or some kind of story to share. I knew very many different versions of my father. He was a loving father. He was very caring. As you all know, he took very good care of my mom when she was sick and ill for the last 2 years of her life. And then it was only until maybe 10, 15 years ago that he started reading, and then he started writing, and he fully immersed himself in his books and stories, and he left behind a legacy as a father and also a share of stories. And I'm so grateful to have all these versions of my father to remember by. He read so much that, every time I think of all the stories I've heard over the past week, one of the more charming ones was he would, go to people's homes and he would count the number of books they have, and if they don't have enough books, he'd be like, "Why aren't you reading books? You should be reading books." There are so many gifts available to us. And he challenged everyone to live life as fully as he did. I don't know what else to say, but it's heartwarming to know that, you know, he, in his last moments, he was still sharing these stories and being so generous with his time and being a father figure, not just to me and my brothers and my sister-in-laws and my nephew, but a guardian and an advisor to so many of you. So the fact that he lived this rich life and left in such a peaceful way will give me some kind of solace. So he left behind a big legacy, and it's up to me and my brothers to live up to that legacy. And I'll try to honor him for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeet. I'd just like to remind everyone that we have a guest book outside, and we would really appreciate if you would leave your name and number, because there are a lot of people here that we know by face. We know you. We know you very well whenever we see you at the Mandir or at Baba's home, but we would love to continue to keep in touch. So please make sure that you leave your contact there so one of us can be in touch with you and continue the relationship that my father had with all of you. We'd love to continue that. With that, I'd like to ask my older brother, Baba and Ma's firstborn, to come and say a few words.
First of all, thank you all for attending this beautiful Saturday morning. We know that, and we appreciate all the time and effort you all took to come here on a Saturday, this early in the morning. So we really appreciate that. And to all of you watching all over the world via web stream, welcome and thank you for joining us. To say my Baba was an ordinary man would be an understatement. He lived extraordinary, being ordinary. He taught me humility by way of not being so humble about his accomplishments. If he had something that he created and he wanted to share with the world, he made sure that you experienced it and did whatever with it. So that's something I will always cherish. I call it selective pride, because at the same time he also taught us to be humble and live life to the fullest, no matter what. He was a husband, a brother, a father, a grandfather, an uncle, a friend, and so many roles to so many people that he met along the way. He loved fully, and he was loved back tenfold. For the 2 years that he took care of Ma was so inspiring. It was so inspiring what he did. He did a lot for Ma. But at the same time, like, I'm glad that he's able to join Ma up in the heavens right now. We didn't think it would be so soon, but in a way, I think we're all really content with that. He absolutely loved being a granddad to my son Ivan. Becoming a father myself, I was able to provide him the best gift that I can bestow him. There isn't enough time in the day to express how amazing he was, but if you knew him, spent time with him, broken bread, you knew his presence was much more larger than life. I'd like to wrap it up by saying a quote by John Galsworth, a novelist from the late 1800s. I repeat just so my brother hears it. I'd like to wrap it up by saying a quote by the novelist John Galsworth from the late 1800s. It resonated with me when I first read it a couple of days ago. Love has no age. Love has no limits. And love has no depth. My Baba may be gone from this earth, but I know very well he's showering all this love to you, like he did always when he was here. If you've known him, be blessed. Goodbye, Baba. You lived well. You did good. I'd like to call upon the person that you know best, Audrey, who has done so much for Baba, and he's basically our family MVP.
Thank you, Nada. I'll remind you that MVPs change every year. So. I want to just repeat again. I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. It means a lot. We had expected a lot of people because we know the kind of man Baba was, and he did not disappoint even after he's left us.
Yes.
The tremendous support that you all have given our family over the last week is nothing short of remarkable. From opposite ends of the city and even far corners of the world, we've been inundated with words of comfort and kindness. It's humbling to realize that my Baba, in addition to being an amazing father to us all, was also a father figure to countless people in his community and beyond. Purna Wanik uncle, Sima Wanik uncle, auntie, and Preeti are an example of that. Baba met uncle and auntie in Abu Dhabi, but always kept in touch. And I'm very fortunate to know that they were with him in his final moments. He was able to share laughs, a home-cooked meal, and his favorite evening tea, dubra cha. He loved evening tea. Dubra cha na ke kem nahi, he would say. How can you not have your evening tea? Many years ago, he told me a story about how he had skipped tea before going to an event one night, only to realize that it would be served much later after dinner. And he turned that story, longing for tea, into his first poem in Bangla. We all encouraged him to keep writing, and he gladly obliged. It was quite strange to see Baba turn into a writer, actually, because being an engineer, he was always fond of math and the sciences. You know, growing up, he would always be upset at me for not reading my textbooks as much as he did. I didn't know anyone that was more studious than Baba was. For example, when I was studying math, he would take one of my books and learn on his own. Like if I was studying math, he would take my chemistry book or physics books and start studying for himself. I would always see his scribblings in my notebooks, like when we were growing up. I know that's the same for Dada as well. It was a little different for Jeet because Jeet kind of came to Canada and he realized that the system is different. So Jeet didn't quite get that later on, but you know, back in Abu Dhabi, if he wasn't at work, he was tutoring me at home. I know he did the same for Dada as well. So he was a very, very dedicated father, and he was dedicated to providing his children with the best education possible. He always reminded us of that. I'm not sure where his quest for knowledge came from, but I do know that Baba was willing to uproot his existing life just to give us a good education. He always believed that education and knowledge was key to a successful and prosperous life, and he lived that life. The first time he uprooted his life was to leave for a developing land of promise in the Middle East. The United Arab Emirates is where my Baba had first left Bangladesh, And Baba had a strong sense of tradition when which he thought he might lose if he moved to the Middle East. A foreign land, different language, new culture. He told me he was very concerned about the lack of temples there and where he would end up. So how would he keep true to his faith in this new barren country, he would wonder. So my dadu, his father, told him something that he passed on to me. Your work is your faith. Your discipline is your devotion. And Baba never looked back since then. There are so many stories from Abu Dhabi. One I'd like to share is about his hair, actually. When he was a young engineer at the Water and Electricity Department in Abu Dhabi, one of his new supervisors had walked up to him, grabbed his hair, and just started yelling at him in Arabic. Baba was terrified. He was like, what did I do wrong? He didn't think he did anything wrong, but some people around him started to laugh and told him that the supervisor thought that he had such a majestic head of hair and wanted to make sure it was real. So, for those of you that met Baba later in his life, you may not know that he did have a very thick and full head of hair, which I don't think any of us inherited, but that's okay. So for 26 years, he dedicated his life to build a family in foreign land, and in doing so, he also helped establish the Abu Dhabi and the United Arab Emirates we know today. It was humble beginnings, and he was part of that. And I like to think that he played a major role in how that entire country came together. But despite living in the UAE for most of his life, every year we went back to Bangladesh and India to visit family. Without fail, 2 months out of the year we would spend half the time in Bangladesh and half the time in India. Baba would make it a point to take my grandmother, Takuma, to all of her annual doctor's appointments himself. We barely saw him at home when we were on vacation in India and Bangladesh. But in 2019, Ma was diagnosed, after we came to Canada, of course, many years later, Ma was diagnosed with an illness, and we lost her in 2022. I still don't understand how he's able to how he was able to become a full-time caregiver to her so quickly. I would offer him help once in a while with Ma. She needed a lot of help and attention near the end of her life when her condition got worse, so I would go stay with them for a few days. I can admit to you today that those were some of the most difficult times I'd spent with the two of them. But Baba did it every single day. He would get frustrated and annoyed sometimes because he was human at the end of the day. But he never said, not once did he say, I'm not going to take care of her. He never complained about it, not once. It was in those trying days I truly realized the enormity of the sacrifices he made for us, for all of us. Last evening, as I sat down to write down what I wanted to say, I was completely lost. I was actually envious of him because in the amount of time I took to think of what I could even say, Baba would not only have written a speech, he probably would have even written a poem about the occasion by then. So as I struggled to write something down, my wife Susan asked me, what would you say to him if he was here right now? And that question was even more difficult to answer because I didn't fully realize that he wasn't here right now. I didn't want to believe it. But with Baba, you never had to ask him anything. He would just offer you new information, even if you didn't ask. Could be the newest fact about Canada, or a great anecdote about his favorite poet, Rabindranath Tagore, of course, or the latest tech innovation that he couldn't wait to try. But I think if he was here right now, I would ask him to share a pineapple with me. I would ask him to recite one of his poems to me. Or I'd ask him where he wants to travel next. He had a very gentle and poetic end to a rich life lived to its fullest. So with that, I will ask him to go on a journey eternally in peace. And I wish you well, Baba. Thank you for everything. Don't hold it. We'll have some chanting now, and we'll ask a few people to come up. If you'd like to say a few words after that, please let me know, and I'll call upon a few people as well. Say a few words.
Thank you everyone for coming. I will not take time too long because we have a couple of things to do. I would like to share some personal story. So he's my father-in-law. So I came from Bangladesh after getting married. with the time we came close, and I feel like we also become good friends. There's a very silly story I want to share, even no one knows. So it was a very early days, probably a few months. I just came in, and we lived with them for 3 years, and then we moved in Calgary. So in that early days, and everyone knows I work in the kitchen very fast, and I'm very loud, and I still have that complaint. So it was only me and Baba at home, and Ma has a really, she has a favorite teapot, and I broke one small creamer, and Baba panicked because it's her very favorite. It's not that Ma is like scary or something, but I was new bride, and I was very scared, I was panicked, I don't know what to do. And then Baba said, "Don't worry, I will tell that I broke it." And I was like, "What? Why you take the blame on me?" And obviously I was scared, and I didn't take that blame on. I didn't take that, and I was like, "Okay, it's fine." And he actually did that, and obviously Ma didn't react or do anything. But that's a very small one. But that day, I feel like I belong to that home because this is something my dad would do. He did so many things for me because I came from far away. So Ma and Baba they tried their best to make me feel home and give me so much love. When I came in, so I was looking to apply for masters, and I remember there's the university I went to Guelph. I really wanted to go, and I was late to apply, and the last day Amitabh was at work, so there is no way, and we are so far away, so the Baba was the only one who was home, and he's like, "I will take you," and he actually took me all the way to Guelph, and that day, because of him, I was able to actually study in Guelph because there is no time. It was last day of application, send the application. So there's so many moments because I'm not very good expressing my emotion and gratitude, but there's so many moments that I feel like I'm so lucky to be in this family. Like the brothers, they are like my brother. They love me always, like I'm theirs, and I am part of the family. So Ma always used to say how Baba always wanted a daughter, and I am their first daughter, and I know they love Susie as their own daughter as well. They always talk highly about her, and I know how much Baba loved us and Ivan. There's so many things to say, but it's hard to say in one day. We used to discuss and argue on religion, food, health, and life philosophy. We may not see eye to eye, but one thing I respected so much, how he respected me as a human being, as a person. We never, even if we don't agree to each other, but we always respect each other's opinion, which is hard to find between daughter and father, which I cherish all the time, and I will do that. Before leaving, I just want to say about Baba's departure remind me one thing that we always talk about, but probably we don't, that our death is inevitable, it's not in our hand. We don't know how to shape it. But one thing we do, that it's our present, how we are living today, that is only in our control, that we can shape. So I will remind this myself every day, and I want let everyone to take this with you. I know Baba was so near all of you. He's in good place because of his good health. He was ill. We believe that he lived us such a good way. He didn't suffer. So thank you so much for coming.
Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Susan. I'm Avi's wife, Baba's second daughter. In the time I've known Baba, I quickly discovered one thing about him. He was a man who loved knowledge. He pursued it and loved to share knowledge with others. Every visit with him meant I would learn something new or explore a different perspective. He was a guest speaker at alumni panels. He wrote articles in the Bangladeshi newspaper. He published 2 books and was on the way to writing his 3rd. And I'm sure many, many other achievements that I'm not even aware of, all to help spread new ideas to others and to share it with everyone. I hope to continue that passion of his, continue searching for and being excited by knowledge, and honor his memory in sharing with others that knowledge and sharing that curiosity that he had always shown me. We will miss you, Baba.
Thank you, Susan. Now I think we'll start the service. And Vici, I'd like to call upon Dr. Srivastava, who also was very close to my father.
As I mentioned, my name is Dr. Srivastava. I'm a retired professor. I taught astrophysics at U of T for 35 years. And for the last 26 years, I'm doing these services. Moments like these, we are compelled to ponder over 3 questions. Who am I? Why I'm here? What's life and what's death? Many of us are afraid of death. We should be afraid of something which is uncertain. Death is certain to come. So we should not be afraid of death. Who am I? I'm not this body. We're going to put it at the right place today. I'm something inside this body, which we call soul. Why I'm here? My purpose is to get out of the cycle of life and death and achieve moksha, salvation, emancipation. People ask me what moksha is. I give a very simple example. All of us, or most of us, have borrowed the money. We are in debt. If we keep on borrowing more and more money, our debt goes up, credit rating goes down, and the bank may refuse the money. But if we keep on adding, a day comes when the debt is 0, we are thrilled, ecstatic, overjoyed. That's what moksha is. Based on our many, many previous lives, the total sum of our good and bad deed is negative. In our previous life, if we did more good than bad, or both the same, we get this unique body to come back. And I say we mean the soul. So that we continue paying the debt, get rid of the negative. What happens to the soul when it leaves the body? According to the Vedas, the knowledge given to us at the time of creation, soul, Yajurveda chapter 39, mantra 5 to 7 explains it beautifully. For the first 3 days, the soul is in our vicinities. For the next 9 days, it wanders into the other region of the universe. Why? For 2 reasons. To leave its good impression and pick up the good impression from other regions. On 13th day, the decision is based on our deeds. If our total deeds are negative, becoming more negative, we get into the other form of life. If our deeds are good and positive, we keep on getting this body till we achieve our goal. This is the last sacrament. After this, we don't know where the soul is. Nothing should be done. You do the prayers so that we seek peace from Almighty God, not that soul. The soul will be, decision will be made for that soul after 13 days, so we don't know where the soul is. So all of us, I always tell everybody, as somebody mentioned here too, the only thing that's going to go with us is our data, our deeds. That's the one on which we'll be based. House, everything will be here. If we remember that, we'll always do good deeds. Okay? And Abhi Bete, who's the eldest? You are the eldest, right? Om Medo Bhamajas is forehead. A lot of Ganga jokes is good. Om Chakshushe Majas, his eyes. Om Shrote Majas, his ears. Om Mukhe Majas, his whole face. Om Asbha Majas, his hand. Like the deer. Astoma Sadgame Tamasoma Jyotirgame Mrityurmam Amritam Game. Here, bete, light is God. What's burning? The wax or the wick? What's burning?
The wick.
The wick. Watch, nothing will happen to the wick as long as the wax is there. It says the wax that's burning. Conclusion, wick is our mind, wax is all the layer of dust covering our mind. God says, come to me with trust and faith. I'll burn all those layers. Conclusion from this experiment is trust and faith. Hold in your right hand first, please. In the palm, the way he had. Navel is the center, come around here. We'll start from, watch me. Start from here, go clockwise, not watch me first. Go clockwise and hit it back. Go slowly. Clockwise. And then hold it in the middle. Soul is going to wander. As wandered, soul basically is associated with positive and negative energy. Soul is balanced. But when we come into this life, we change that balance. As the soul is going to wander, we are praying to Almighty God. As the soul wanders, maintain the stability. Okay. When I say Swaha, accept the face, that's where you will add. Come closer. Om Agnaye Swaha. When I say Swaha, you will do like this. Okay. Om Agnaye Swaha. Om Somaye Swaha. Om Lokaye Swaha. Om Anumate Swaha. Om Swargaye Lokaye Swaha. But here we are going to raise two questions. Which direction does the soul go and where does the soul go? Third one, God is saying, no, it's a mystery for us. We say, all right. But as the soul wanders, guide the soul. Say with me first, Om, Ye, Etasya, Patho, Rastebhya, Swaha. Om, Ye, Etasya, Rakshata, Rastebhya, Swaha. Om, Ye, Etasya, Patho, Abhi, Rakshata, Rastebhya, Swaha. In this mantra we are saying we are going to put, our body is made up of 5 elements, air, water, fire, space and matter. 2 of them have gone to the appropriate place. The remaining 3 we are going to put it at the right place today. When I say Swaha, you'll offer it. Om Surya Chakshur Satam Vatma Dhyam Cha Kshatr Prithvi Cha Dharmana Apovag Kshat Jadi Hadatet Histe Supriste Sharire Swaha. Here, bete, we are saying if that soul has to come back, put the soul in the families of Rishi, elevated people, so that the soul comes out of the cycle of life and death. Om Someke Bhya Pavite Gridme Kupasate Jebhyo Pradhavati Tanesha Devapi Vishattatat Swaha. In this one, bete, we are saying if that soul has achieved moksha, shower your blessing on the soul and keep it with you forever. Om Yatra Jyotirajastam Yasmin Loke Sarvetam Tasmin Mamadehi पवमाना अमृते लोके अक्षत इंद्रजेन्दो प्रीस्त्रव स्वाहा।
ননীগোপাল দেবনাথ শুধুমাত্র একজন প্রকৌশলী ছিলেন না, তিনি ছিলেন একজন বাঙালি লেখক। আমরা খুব আনন্দিত এই লেখক হয়ে ওঠার পেছনে বাংলা মেল পরিবার একটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা পালন করে। তিনি লিখতে চাইতেন, তার হৃদয়ে সবসময় একটি লেখক সত্তা মন ছিল। যে কোনো বিষয় তার মাথায় আসলে তিনি একেবারে অবলীলে আমাকে ফোন দিতেন, ফোন দিয়ে জানাতেন এই বিষয়টি নিয়ে তিনি লিখতে চান। বাংলা মেল পরিবার তাকে আমরা উৎসাহিত করতাম। বিশেষ করে আমি সুব্রত কুমার দাস দাদার কথা উল্লেখ করব, তিনি তাকে সীমাহীন উৎসাহ দিয়ে যেতেন লেখক হয়ে ওঠার পেছনে। ননীগোপালদার 2টি বই প্রকাশিত হয়েছে। প্রতি সপ্তাহে তিনি বাংলা মেল পত্রিকাতে লিখেছেন। আমাদের বাংলা মেল পরিবারের সাথে তিনি ওতপ্রোতভাবে জড়িত ছিলেন এবং আমরা সবসময় চেষ্টা করেছি দাদা যেন শেষ সময় পর্যন্ত লেখালেখিটি চালিয়ে যান এবং আমরা সেটাই দেখলাম। মৃত্যুর আগ পর্যন্ত তিনি বাংলা মেলে নিয়মিত লিখে গেছেন। তিনি লিখতে পছন্দ করতেন, পড়তে ভালোবাসতেন এবং তার সবচেয়ে বড় যে গুণটি ছিল সেটি হচ্ছে তিনি বাঙালি সংস্কৃতির যে কোনো আয়োজনে নির্দ্বিধায় তিনি গিয়ে উপস্থিত হতেন এবং সেই পুরো আয়োজনটি তিনি উপভোগ করতেন। ননীদা আমাদের মাঝে নেই, কিন্তু আমরা বিশ্বাস করি ননীদার লেখা, ননীদার ভালোবাসা সবসময় আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকবে। আজকের এই আয়োজনে আপনারা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন প্রচুর মানুষের সমাগম, কারণ ননীদা এই মানুষদেরকে ভালোবাসতেন এবং যারা আজকে এসেছেন ননীদার প্রতি শ্রদ্ধা জানাতে তারাও ননীদাকে ভালোবাসেন। ননীদা আমাদের সঙ্গেই আছেন, ননীদা আমাদের সঙ্গেই থাকবেন।
You are going to recite a mantra with me. The meaning of the mantra is you are saying goodbye to the body of your dad that day. Close your eyes, dad will always be with you. Saying goodbye to your body, but you will always be with us. After reciting the mantra, you will offer the rose there. Go there, please. Say with me the mantra Om Yamatra Nadi Mas Tasmae. The next one. Say with me Om Yamatra Nadi Mas Tasmae. Let us say with me all three. Om Yamatra Nadi Mas Tasmae. Any other immediate family member, please come. Quickly offer with the mantra. Om Yamatra Nadi Mas Tasmae. 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 And with all three brothers stand with your wife here on the side there. Please take your seat, the rest of you.
ঠিক 7 সপ্তাহ আগে এক শনিবার আমি এসেছিলাম ননীগোপালের পুস্তক উন্মোচনে। আজকে 7 সপ্তাহ পরে সে শনিবার এসেছি আমার প্রিয় ননীকে শেষ দর্শন করার জন্য। আমার 89 বছর বয়স, আজকে আমারই যাওয়ার কথা, ছোটোর আগে চলে যাচ্ছে, খারাপ লাগে। ননী একটা অদ্ভুত ভালো লোক ছিল। এমনিতে প্রফেশনালিও ছিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ার, কিন্তু মনটা ছিল সাহিত্য রসে ভরা। সব সময় পড়াশোনায় থাকতো, এ নিয়ে আলোচনা করতো, এ নিয়ে কথা বলতো। একটা অন্য জগতের মানুষ ছিল, সব ব্যাপারে উৎসাহ ছিল, জানার আগ্রহ ছিল। এরকম মানুষ, ভালো মানুষের সংখ্যা ক্রমশ কমে যাচ্ছে, এটা খুবই কষ্টের ব্যাপার। আমি চাই ননীর আত্মা চিরশান্তি লাভ করুক।
দর্শক মণ্ডলী, এতক্ষণ আপনারা দেখলেন আমরা প্রকৌশলী ও লেখক ননীগোপাল দেবনাথের শেষকৃত্য অনুষ্ঠান আপনাদেরকে দেখালাম। যে ধর্মীয় বিধান তা ইতিমধ্যে পালন করা শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে একটু পরেই যেমনটি হিন্দু ধর্মের বিধান ক্রিমেশনের জন্য এই দেহ আগুনে দিয়ে দেওয়া হবে এবং আমাদের সকলের প্রত্যাশা সকলের কামনা যারা এসেছেন এখানে তাদের সবার প্রার্থনা ননীগোপাল দেবনাথের আত্মা চিরশান্তি লাভ করুক।